This video will explain what linear probabilistic modeling is and how SpaceX's Falcon 9 rocket launches represent Bernoulli trials, where the result is either a 1 success or a 0 failure. Linear probabilistic modeling is basically a unique kind of binomial regression modeling. Binomial regression modeling is a technique in which the response, y in this case, is the result of something called Bernoulli trials, which results in two possible outcomes, a success or a failure. In this video, I will be explaining how the launching of SpaceX's Falcon 9 rocket represents the Bernoulli trials in the sense that each time the Falcon 9 is launched, it is a trial that will either end in success or a failure. A linear probabilistic model, which will be shown in the last slide, will represent the number of flights that have succeeded out of all the attempted launches of SpaceX's Falcon 9 rocket. There are multiple reasons why the Falcon 9 is so successful. Falcon 9 uses an all-pneumatic stage separation system for low-shock, highly reliable separation that can be tested on the ground, unlike pyrotechnic systems used on most launch vehicles. Falcon 9 is the first orbital-class rocket capable of reflight. There are so many variables that determine whether the rocket launch will succeed or not, and probability plays a huge role in determining if it is safe for a flight to occur. If the launch is likely to fail, the launch will most likely be postponed to a later date. Linear regression models the relationship between quantitative and/or qualitative inputs, x1, x2, x3, etc., and a quantitative output, y, as a linear combination of the input variables, parameterized by some unknown parameters, beta 0, beta 1, beta 2, etc. We also include an additional random noise modeled as a random variable. The model can be then expressed as y equals beta 0 plus beta 1 times x1 plus beta 2 times x2 plus etc. plus our random variable. The combination of quantitative and/or qualitative inputs yields us a quantitative output. These quantitative inputs can be represented in the Falcon 9 rocket example as the variables that affect the flight, like what the rocket is made of, and qualitative can be represented as how much of that material there is, for example, the size of the rocket. The quantitative output in this case is either a 1 a success or a 0 a failure. What makes rocket launches successful is trial and error. Trial and error is something that is used in every engineer's life. After a trial, the engineer makes adjustments based on what went wrong and then tries again. This process goes on and on until the process succeeds consistently almost every time, as making something perfect is practically impossible. Successful trial and error makes for a successful linear regression model.